Hello, people. People. What do we got? 13 people. 13 out of 20. That's about as good as I get anymore. Let's see. Tiana, Tyler, Celine, Michelle Simmons, Nick Putney. Putney from Putney, Vermont. Probably not. Sammy. Audra Sautange. Dante Quinones. Rocky's here. Thank you for coming, Rocky. Where's Nessa? You two are usually stuck together. Rocky, is Nessa there? Rocky?
No, she's not with me.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask her where she is.
Go ask her.
Okay.
Ask her. It hurts my feelings when she doesn't come. We're just going to wait a couple seconds here. Make sure I have everything I need. We are sent as elves. Am I singing We Are Sent as Elves? I don't know. Turn this off. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. As long as we're here, this isn't going to be a very long show. I'm not going to put a big show on for you today. Typically with this class, I mean, we can't sit and talk about how to write. You just have to go out and write. So we're not going to be doing a whole lot of in-class stuff from now on. Just getting together to make sure we're all on top of things is all. So what I'm going to do today is introduce the second half of the semester. I have not graded your final projects yet. I'm going to work on that this week. But the second half of the semester is going to be more like traditional communicating biology. You know, typically this is what you would be doing if you had someone else. You'd be doing all these writing projects. I cut back the number of writing projects and oral presentations just to so we have time for that first half, which I thought was pretty good. I'd like to get some feedback from you guys, whether you thought that was a good and useful experience or if it was just make work or whatever. I'd like to get some feedback from you. But anyway, here we are in our second half. And what are we going to be doing? Well, your first paper, which you're going to be writing this week, is going to be a short biological summary paper. So you'll find a primary research paper that you like and summarize it in kind of a lay style. And we'll talk about that shortly. And then your second thing will be a longer paper, an 8 to 10 page, 8 to 10 page paper, your traditional research paper. I gotta go let the dog out. I'll be right back. So that one will probably be starting next week. Final is due November 5th, which isn't too long from now. And then we're going to be using our class time for Zoom presentations. Each of you will do one 15-minute Zoom presentation based on your paper. So, you know, once you've written the whole paper, you're basically just summarizing it and putting in a visual medium, the PowerPoint, and then so we'll be scheduling that. Everyone will have one Zoom that they'll share with the class. And then the last thing, which is pretty quick and easy for that last week of classes, is coming up with a resume and CV. And this is probably the most important thing for you because I'll give you some feedback so you got a half decent resume or CV, and then you'll be able to use that next year for applying for jobs or grad schools or whatever. All right. So that's the plan for the second half of the semester. And let's do a different share. Let's talk today about what you're going to be doing this week. And I've put these things we're looking at right now, I've put up in Moodle, so they're there for you to review. Assignment 1 is short biology summary paper. So to do this, go to the primary literature, right? Primary literature means research paper. So it's like, data, it's like the classic abstract, intro, methods, data, results and conclusions, right? An actual research paper. Scan the literature, find something that's good, something you like, something you find interesting, right? And then you're going to summarize that in a 2 to 3 page summary and show other people what's interesting about that paper. So, and I put here, should be spaced at 1.5 and all this stuff. I mean, most people don't do the sneaky thing of doing triple spacing just to get 2.5 pages in, but a lot of people are going to ask me, how do you want this formatted? So I'm just telling you this now so you don't have to ask me. Okay, 1.5 lines per page, 1-inch margins, font at 12 point, and about 2.5 pages roughly. So in this paper, the way you should write this is basically give a little bit of background, and the background includes the hypothesis, why are they doing this, and then summarize the data a little bit, not a lot of detail, and then the conclusions. And your audience is basically someone who's not a scientist, or at least not a scientist in this particular area, and is just kind of interested. So you want to make this interesting and exciting so that you're drawing interest into your subject. So basically, hang on a second. Basically, like you're working for a place like Science Daily, and your job is to look out there at the literature, see what's new, see what's exciting, write a little puff piece on it, and then print it up on the website. So that's your goal, basically. You can use some direct quotes. In these Science Daily articles, you see direct quotes, but use them sparingly. I've seen people in the past write reports, and it's like 90% quotes and just a couple words between the quotes. That's not writing, So most of it should be your own writing, your own work. When you submit your piece, you'll submit the article as well. Okay, so get your article and then get your summary and put them together and then hand them in the into one page, hopefully, or one file, and put that up in the assignment box. And I hope I don't have to tell you this, but if I catch you plagiarizing, you're going to get a zero, big old goose egg on this report. And I'm going to be reporting people to the academic dishonesty thing. So do not be copying and pasting on pain of death. Here's how I'm going to grade it on grammar, writing style, content, and deadlines. Let's talk about that. So grammar, verb tenses, using articles, right, prepositions, basic spelling and basic writing stuff. And this is what I use, Grammarly. You just download it and you put it on your computer, and then everything you write, it fixes for you. Like, I don't know how many people have done this, but that's it. Well, that's a word. That's a word thing. But anyway, Grammarly is really good. It's really helpful. Writing style. So this is where you're going to be interesting and engaging. So you want people to read your piece. So how do you get them to read it? You make it interesting, and you say, this is what's happening. When you read that original research paper, it can be very dry and hard to understand, and you're going to convert that into something that's easy to understand and a lot of fun to read. Content, I'll be looking at the paper as well as your writing, so I want to make sure that you are actually summarizing what's there and getting the important details out of it. You don't want to just summarize one little part of it that isn't the main goal of the paper. So part of this is reading that paper and understanding it, so you know it's important, and then getting that through in your writing. And then deadlines, I've got the deadlines here. They're in the other page and they're in Moodle. So 10% of your grade is hitting the 2 deadlines, 5% for each deadline, because we don't have much time left. We got to get this done And we've got to schedule a lot of online Zoom meetings and stuff, so we don't have time to fool around. And it's just 2.5 pages. It shouldn't take you that long to do. I think this whole project, it should take you maybe an hour to read the paper and understand it, another hour to write a nice summary, and then you submit it. And then that will be your first draft. I'll look at that and I'll give you some style points and some ideas, send it back to you, and then hit that second deadline. Then you've got 2 days to get the final in. So, fixing it shouldn't take that long. So these are our deadlines, and that's worth 10% of your grade. Okay, so let me show you Science Daily. I don't know how many of you have already done some Science Daily stuff, or read Science Daily, I should say. What's going on here? Oh, there it is. Science Daily. So this is one, like, I didn't look up the original research. I just read the Science Daily report, but this sounds really interesting. And this is kind of the type of piece I want you to do. So look at this. Previous infection with other types of coronavirus may lessen the severity of COVID-19. Pretty topical, right? It's really important right now, kind of interesting. So let's see what these people have to say. So reading their piece, okay, first you've got like a 1-page summary up here, or 1 or 2 sentence summary up here. What's this all about? That's kind of like to draw people in. Do they want to read it or not? And then you get into it, and here's your background. Being previously infected with coronaviruses like the common cold, blah, 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 blah. And these researchers at this Boston Medical Center, Boston University, blah, 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 da, 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 da. So it's just like the background. Why is this important? What's interesting about it? What were they looking for? Their hypothesis, what was they looking for? Their hypothesis was, does the common cold help you if you get SARS-CoV-2? Okay, and now we're getting to more data-like stuff. How is the study put up? How is it done? What did they find out? In this study, researchers looked at EMR from blah, 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 blah. I guess this is still some more background stuff, but here's the actual study and the results. Here's a nice quote, and they probably called the author to get a quote. I don't expect you to do that. You can just take quotes out of the paper if you want to, but you don't have to put in quotes. Don't worry about that. But anyway, because they are journalists, they got actual quotes. So again, kind of what is the paper about, and what did they find, and why is this important? And then finally summing up with their conclusion, which is, we hope to study in the springboard for more, okay? Not that long. If I cut this out and pasted it, it'd be about 2 pages. That's about it. So that's all I'm looking for in this particular assignment. Okay, let me see your faces. Oh, Putney, not you, not you, not you. Oh, I crack that joke every time. Okay. All right, is everyone happy? You know what you need to do? So get me this paper by Sunday night late, and I will, oh, one more thing I want to talk about. Get this to me by Sunday late, and I will hopefully get through them all Monday, if not, hopefully Tuesday, get them back to you, and then your final submission on Friday. So I'm not going to grade that first, so I'm just going to read them quickly, give you some input on where you're going right and where you're going wrong. The other thing I need you to do this week is, remember, part of the first semester, Noemi, you're sideways. Part of the first project of the semester was giving feedback on other people's videos. So I'm going to get that out to you today, and that shouldn't take you very long. Just watch some of the videos and give me some pros and cons about the videos. And my grades on the videos are not going to be based on what you're saying, so don't feel like you have to be positive to help your buddies out. Just give me your honest opinions on them. And one more thing about that: You know, some people have just done one or two videos, so I'd like you to look at both of them. Some people have done a whole slew of them. Don't feel like you have to go through every one and give me pros and cons. Just give me a gist of how the project went for these people. Does that make sense? This is yes. Tiana, this is yes. This is no. Oh, you're all going to hate me by the end of the semester. That's my goal anyway. All right, is everybody happy? Are we good? I'm going to let you go. I'm going. All right.